Well, hello, my fellow car modelers. How are you doing today? I want to talk about glue again.
Oh, man. Oh, God. Oh, man.
You know, glue, but not the kind you leave the cap off and let it evaporate on you. I want to talk about that CA glue. Kind of going to be a little recap from that glue video that I did and a little post that I made on my Facebook group. So we're going to get into this. I put a little bit of a heated post a while back on my Luka Model Car Hobby Headquarters Facebook group, and I was a little upset with my CA glue, and which it was Bob Smith Industries glue, and I have been using that. That has been my preferred glue. I talked a little bit about it in that video right there. But I was unhappy with some results because it just didn't last long sitting here on my bench. I'd usually have it right here. And if I had this special little holder made with the exact size bottles I always got, keep it right there at all times. And you see I don't have it anymore because I have chose to go with just getting the super glue that we get at the hardware stores and whatnots in these little metal tubes. We talked about that. If you haven't seen that, at the end of this video, there'll be a link to that video. I seem to like that idea. That seems to last longer. I only, in a couple of months, my last bottle of Bob Smith Industries medium CA glue got all gelled up and hard on me way too soon. And I talked about that in that little write-up I did on my Facebook group. Well, I got a message from Bob Smith himself.
What? No.
Extremely nice gentleman. And he wanted to discuss it with me. He was very, very apologetic and stuff. And I said there was no need for that. I go, I have been using your stuff for many years. I have found this problem to happen. This was the worst of it. And I just, it's more frustrating the fact that, you know, when I go sit down and use it and all of a sudden it's like the last time it was good. Now it's not. I'm moving my hands a lot. He was so nice and offered to send me a replacement bottle. And I actually told him no, I didn't really want that. I'm fine. You know, I am going to go with, these. And I says, it's not your product. I believe it to be the containment system, the bottles. And in talking with him, and he said, we had some problems with a couple bottles. There may have been, you may have gotten something bad. Let me please replace it. I can tell you won't have that problem anymore. But we also got talking. He's going to be coming out with a new product that he sent me a sample that I want to show you guys. And I may not go to these. But let me show you this. I get in the mail today, big box. And he sent me a bunch of cool things that we're going to look at. I just said, send me a bottle, fine. I first told him, no, you don't have to. And of course, you know, I got lots of this Instaset. This is my favorite from him. But let me show you something that's a new product they're coming out with that I think this is the game changer. I'm dying to try this stuff out. And, well, you know, because this is what I use. I love this stuff. This has been my go-to CA glue. I just need this stuff to last on me. And I think he sent me no, that's the size bottle. Yeah, the ½ ounce. So it fits right there. So I got that. I'll go back to using it. But here is the one that I'm dying to try out. That I think this is the direction he should go with his containment systems. Look at this. One of those types of metal squeeze bottles. And we are going to try this stuff out. Look at this. This is a IC gel, Insecure IC gel. So I've got to read about that, but this is what I want. If BSI is going to be doing, and I would love to see them go this direction instead of the plastic bottles. I still don't trust these plastic bottles, and it hasn't been just them, and I may have come on hard. I do want to personally, and I personally did apologize to Bob. I really wasn't hitting his product hard. It was I just can't have that anymore. And that's why I was going to go with what I go with. Let's see, did that have the thing in there that it pops it? Yes, cool. So we're ready to rock. I am super excited about this right here. It's an it's a CA glue, Coral Frag glue. It's called IC gel. So it's kind of a gel. So we're gonna try it out because this kind of what this is. I don't know how much different this is from this, but if this does the job, man, I just look, and that's a nice size bottle too. I don't know what the retail is. It may be on their website now, but he said that this is a new product coming out. There you go. There's the packages. Nice packaging. I'm telling you that this is the game changer as far as I'm concerned for modeling CA glues. This is what I will get. But, we haven't tried it yet. So let me find something to glue. Do we got anything to glue? Is there anything? Glue? There's a glue. We got the glue. Now we need a thing to glue. We got a thing to glue? Right here, I've got this engine. Let's glue the halves together. That needs to be done anyways for an upcoming project. So I am going to give this stuff a try. Let's see. And I'm just going to go ahead and give the halves a quick sand so they fit together well. So here we go. Let me do the test fit. Let's go ahead and give this stuff a try. Let's see. It's already open. Don't have to open that once you plug it on. Let's see how it comes out of the tube naturally. Oh, okay. It's a gel. Looks pretty much the same as the CA glue I like to use. Very easy to apply. You probably can put one of those deals on the end if you choose to, but I'm actually putting way more glue. But this is kind of probably a gap filler glue and stuff. And yeah, I noticed that it's very thick and gel-like, which is kind of cool. Smash it together. So it's like, and I like the fact that it's a gap filler, and then I can take my little Zap stuff here, the Insta Set that I always keep in my little applicator bottle, but this is the Bob Smith Insta Set, and it looks like we're pretty good here. Seems like get some of the excess off. I gotta say, it glued quite nicely. You saw it right there. I liked how it applied. I like that we've got this. Seems like a very, very tight fitting. Look at how it's got those threads on there. If you keep this nice and clean. I usually don't like to squirt out of the bottle, but it seems like that closes up nice and tight. And I'll tell you what I'm going to do just to play it safe. I've done this before. I'm going to take a little bit of masking tape when I'm not using it, and this is what I'm going to do. We're going to wrap it just to play it safe. But I have a pretty good feeling with this stuff because, like I said, this stuff here this stuff's still good, and I've had this out in a hot shed, which this is probably going to go back out to my workshop outside where I do my resin casting, and this stuff is still good in there. In these metal little squeeze bottles, they last a lot longer, so I am thinking pretty positive on that. This could very easily be my go-to. I really like my results. It was real easy to apply, super easy to apply, and it's a gap filler, and then I can sit here and go right at the seam, and it's filled that gap. on an engine block, when you put your heads on, you always want to, this is always kind of peaked a little, be where the two halves go together. It ends up, when you look at it, it's more at a, like that, than being perfectly flat. So I always like to put the block through the machine shop here. Here's my machine shop, and I just like to get that all flat and perfect, because when I go to put my intake manifold on, the intake manifold will teeter and not set right when you don't have this part of your engine block all planed down and perfectly flat like that. And you can see, look at the seam, that glue did a good job. So this right here, heck man, this might be a new video, because this is for an important build, and this might be a new video on how to build and fully detail a model car engine. I might have been wanting to do another one of those videos, because there's new stuff since my last one that I did, which was recorded 7 years ago. So there's more product out today that I would love to use on this engine block. And you might, if you recognize this, you might have an idea what this is. And there's a video coming out about that on the proper date. And that's all I'm going to say. But there we go. There's that. So this is really cool. So be on the lookout. They call it the IC gel. I already like it. Really good stuff. I want to read up a little more about it. I didn't have time to really go through it, read up, and really talk to you guys about it. But I'm going to pull out some of the other items he sent me, which I have been wanting to get some 5-minute epoxy. That's always really good to have, and they have 5-minute epoxy. So when I have a chance to use 5-minute epoxy, there are uses for this. This is really great when you're putting together big resin pieces, 3D printed or cast, or like with the multimedia kit that's coming out of the Lotus 38 from Salvino's JR Models that I'm working with those guys with. This would be a very good glue to use to put the metal parts to the resin parts. So you always want to have 5-minute epoxy. I haven't had 5-minute epoxy in a while, and it's nice to have in your arsenal. So thank you very much, Bob, for that. I appreciate it. I didn't expect it. I just wanted a bottle. This is really super cool. Here's something. It says it's a brush-on glue. I'm going to do more videos on these glues. I don't know. Plastic model glue, odorless brush-on, bonds in 5 to 20 seconds. I'm curious about that. We'll take a look at that soon, but yeah. Whoops, there we go. I'll go ahead and open it up. Let's take a look. What do we got here? Oh, look at that. It seems to be it's not too watery. You see that? It's kind of a little bit thick, not as thick as the gels. Brush on glue. Oh, that's an interesting one. I like this, especially the way that screws on. It's kind of like, I don't think this is anything like the to me, I think this is still a CA glue, so it doesn't fuse together. Yeah, it's definitely a CA glue. But I like that. That's a neat way of applicating it. And of course, I did get my bottle of what I always use is the gap filling medium is my favorite, but he also sent me an extra thick, which sometimes I would get this stuff too. So I've used this product, I'm sure you all, this is their everyday stuff, but he says there has been an improvement in these bottles to keep these more tight, that they will last longer. I'll let you know, we're going to have these for a while. I will use it, just get that bottle open just to see how long it'll live. As a matter of fact, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and breach it right now. So I'm basically going to activate it. And the way I did the last bottle that went bad on me is I never cut the tip. I don't use it like I did with that gel there. I won't do that. I always will just open it. If I can get my little wrench around it. And it's a very tight fit. I mean, that's why I don't understand. I'm going to get this open. Let's get this out and exposed. There we go. I take my applicator. I dip it in. This stuff is, if you can see it, it's doing really what it does when you get it brand new. And I'll put some over here. After I get that handled, I immediately will close this up. Make sure it's nice and tight, and put it in this little holder I have right here, and it sits until the next time I use it. So there, that one is testing right now. We are testing it. We're gonna do a video and take a look at this bottle in a couple of months. I will periodically, I'll use it, I'll open it up like I normally do, and in about 3.5 months, we're gonna take a look at this bottle right here. As a matter of fact, let's do this. I'm gonna put something on here with this right on it. My little marker here. Let's see. I'll put a T right there, you know? So remember that right there. T for test with white, the AK flat. It was there. So there it is. This is the test, the date, and we'll see in about 3.5 months. That's how long it took for that other one to go bad. I have good faith in this. I really do. And that's pretty much it. Like I said, I got another bottle of my Insta Set. I love this stuff. This is the best on the market, I think. I've used other brands. This is the best accelerator out there. It doesn't stink like the other ones. It doesn't seem to make a mess on your model when you get it onto like your already painted parts. And that's about it. That's what I got. I want to really give Bob Smith a big thank you for responding, being so nice. He could have been, you know, I wasn't real nice, and I'm going to put it right here. This is what I said. I'm fully transparent on this. I was a little irritated, and I wanted to make my point. And he was very cool about it. And he definitely did not have to send all this to me. So I told him I would make a video and talk about it on my Facebook group because, again, the product has always been good. Never been upset with it, the product itself. But really, I think this, if I had my choice, I'm going to buy some glue. This will be the one I get. I already liked how it worked. I've tested it. I'm happy with it. I'm very happy. And it'll be interesting to see how long this, I bet you I will use that whole bottle. And the way I build models and the amount that I use CA glue, this is years for me. That could last me a long time. I actually wouldn't mind getting another one of these bottles. Tubes, I should say. I call it a bottle. It's a tube. I wouldn't mind getting another one of these to put in my carry-on. When I go to build sessions, I have a complete, which I'll do a video on that one day, a complete little toolkit with all my doubled up stuff that when I go somewhere to hang out with friends and do a little build session, I like to have separate product. I don't like to grab stuff from my bench and throw it in. And we'll do a video on that. But anyways, there you go. And I got to refill my Insta Set right here. I love this applicator that I got. But I still got tons of this. I got so much of this stuff. It's good to have. So there you go. I want to thank again Bob Smith Industries, Bob Smith himself. Super nice. Very curious about this. I'll do an update on this. I'll give this stuff a try. But it seems to be some. Oh look, plastic model and fingernails. My daughter will probably steal this then. She'll like that. She's always coming in stealing my frickin' super glue. All right, all. Well, I want to thank you all for watching. And I got to ask this question. Why do we like all these different glues for our model building? 'Cause it's fun. Simple as that. It's just fun. Here's the producers.
Hello, Phoenix!